Guys, no yacht comments. No yacht comments. No yacht comments. How we doing today? How we doing today? How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Run the Day, the Daily Sports Show. I'm your host, Anthony. Phil will be joining us in just a little bit. Now, him not being here was my bad. I was a little slow getting here. Let's just say I might have ate something a little funky last night. I think that's probably the case. But today, we're going to be going through my list of the best free agent signings. I'm staying away from re-signings. I'm also staying away from Miles Turner just because I felt like we talked about Miles Turner fucking more than anyone has ever talked about Miles Turner. More than Damian Lillard probably has thought about Miles Turner. Yeah, we've just been talking about his ass way too much. So no Miles Turner on this list. But before we do that, I just want to give a huge shout out to our Discord server. Now, I'm considering starting a new college football league, dynasty league on the Discord server. So if you're interested in that, join the Discord, link in the description down below. It's also in our Instagram bio. If you're watching on Instagram, shout out our Instagram people. But if you want to play in a CFB league, it'll probably be something super casual, but I'm trying to do more stuff with the Discord, man, and I'm having fun playing college football. So I think it'd be fun if we all did this together, everyone. Now let's talk about Chet, right? Chet Holmgren signs a 5-year extension that could reach up to $250 million. $250 million is a lot, man. Now I'm in two kind of things. What's up, Auburn Express? And Philly Phil is also in the building. Phil, how you doing, brother?
No, I'm chilling, man. How about you?
I'm chilling too. You like how I sent it to all your possible emails?
Oh, yeah. Right when I saw that, I was like, oh, this just became easier, man. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. My bad for being a little late.
Nah, you good, man.
Yeah, I was just about to get into this Chet stuff. Okay, this Chet extension. 5 years, $250 million. Just signed today, this morning. So there's two lanes, right? Because all the reports say that it's 5 years and could reach $250 million. Now, there's not enough information out for me to know if it's incentive based or if they're saying that because he has a player option at the end of the 5 years. Now, if it's incentive based, either way, I'm fine with it, honestly. I do think it's an overpay for Chet, but I do think that's his market value. And I think a team like OKC with the first round capital to get role players and fill in the gaps, I think it ends up working out for them because they don't have to overpay role players. They could overpay their stars. That's my take on it.
Okay, right now I'm actually trying to look at the contract. To me, hearing 5 year, $250 million, I'm actually not mad about that, especially for Chet Holmgren, because to be honest, Brody was like big for you guys in the playoffs. Like he was really big defensively and offensively. I want to say he was your third best scorer because wasn't Jalen Williams your second best scorer?
Yeah.
So then in that aspect, I mean, I don't know because you guys are a young team that thrives on your depth. And if one of these guys were to leave, especially Chet, I think that'd be a big loss. So you guys securing him for a 5 year, $250 million, I mean, that keeps him there. And I think that might be fair. I'm trying to see how much that is per year. Is that like
50.
Right here? It's saying like he gets paid $13 million this year, but then after this year, he gets paid $41 million,
So it
44 million. Yeah, it keeps going up. So 41, 44, 47, 51, 54. Okay. Wow.
I mean, that's how it's going to end up going. And that was kind of the thing with Jokic yesterday, with him declining so he could get paid more next year. I'm happy we extended him this year and not next year for sure because that Chet like money would probably end up being closer to 300 mil. And I think that would kind of get scary. But 5 year, I'm glad we locked him down. Look, the Thunder have made the mistake before of not wanting to pay people and blowing up a team too early, right? So as a Thunder fan, I'm happy. Hopefully we could build a dynasty off of this. Yeah, I do think though that we need a better third best scorer, not named Chet Holmgren, because it's kind of like him and Jalen Williams are great, don't get me wrong, but they are inconsistent. And hopefully that comes with age and development and stuff because we're the second youngest team to ever win a championship. But we need that we need someone that's going to get us 20 consistently, 25 consistently. Because there was games where Caruso was our second best scorer, you know? And I just I mean, I know we won a championship, but I don't know how great that is. You feel me? It's our defense that does it.
I was actually gonna ask and wonder what are you guys gonna do with Jalen Williams? Because now I'm looking at it. I mean, obviously you gave SGA the money he needs. Whoever says that's an overpay for SGA, you got to be a dummy, man.
I think
That
SGA
man
took a
wanted.
cut too.
Oh yeah. Well, this is I don't know how much money he was gonna make because he's making 60 million in the next year. And he's also gonna be making 65, 70, 75. So he's making less than stinking Devin Booker. That's crazy. But you also see Isaiah Hardenstein's contract, he's making 28 million. You see you see Dort, he's making 18. You see Alex Caruso, he's gonna be going up, but he's making 18, 19, 20. Now I'm wondering where the money's going to go with Jalen Williams. And then also, who are you going to trade? Are you guys going to let anybody just leave?
Well, I think first of all, we're a team that could afford to go into the second apron because we won a championship. We could pay everybody. And there's reports that Jalen Williams is about to get his extension soon. Really soon.
Okay.
So we're gonna find that out soon. That'll probably be the title of one of these Run the Day live streams next week. But yeah, I mean, I think where is it? SGA's contract right now.
Isn't it a 250 as well?
The number 2 contract in the world right now.
Wow.
Which is soccer player money.
Jokic is gonna beat that number, bro.
Oh,
Jokic is gonna beat that number majorly.
He's gonna get something ridiculous, And that was the thing I hated about those headlines, and we'll probably talk about it again when we record the pod today. But he declined so he could get paid. He didn't decline so that he could leave, And those are just some headlines I saw where I was like, dude, this is kind of nasty work. But yeah, Jalen Williams is gonna get paid. Chet's gonna get paid. Everyone else is locked down. The money that these NBA teams are gonna get is only going up, right? So it's the second apron sucks for teams that suck and they need to trade pieces to succeed. But the Thunder obviously don't suck. We just had one of the best regular seasons we've ever seen. So yeah, in case you didn't know, I'm pretty sick right now as well. So
hey, it's okay, man. I hope you get your rest. I hope that you get just the sickness gone, and man, just take it easy for now.
This is off topic, but we could record on here today. After this, we could record on Restream, so you don't got to come over because I don't want you to get sick before your camp.
No problem.
I just did that with Joseph this week. But yeah, let me go into my list of the best 5 free agency signings. But before we do that, let's give a huge shout out to our sponsors of this podcast. Shout out Boom Fantasy. Use code RTP to get a risk-free bet up to $100. Me and Joseph were just talking about this. I really think it was yesterday where I was like, damn, I do the same fucking script every week when I talk about them, like baseball, WNBA. So I went on there to see what you could bet on, bro. They got UFC 2 weeks in advance. They got Summer League going on right now, and it's on Boom Fantasy. So if you're a basketball watcher, you could bet on Boom Fantasy. A 2-leg parlay can cash you out up to 500 times and sometimes 1,000 times. They do those 1,000 times with a lot, your money. So check that out. And then our new sponsor, new sponsor. Shout out Just Fit for sponsoring this episode as well.
Yes, sir.
Sign up with Just Fit. You pretty much, it'll hit you up. It'll say yo, what do you want to do? Do you want to get buffer? Do you want to get your stamina up? Look, I've been hooping lately, right? And I honestly think that's where I got sick. But my first game hooping, the other day, I scored 10 of my team's 15 points, right? Straight killing out there. And then after that, bro, I couldn't do shit. So I'm going to start using Just Fit when I'm right so that I could get my stamina up a little bit, get a little going a little bit, I got to get amped up a little bit, you feel me? But shout out Just Fit for sponsoring this episode. All right. At number 5.
Yes, sir.
My number 5 best free agent signing of this offseason. Real quick, Phil, I just want to say, I said this at the top of the episode. I don't know if you caught it. I want to avoid re-signing.
Oh, yeah.
You got that? I'm not talking about re-signings, and I didn't put Miles Turner on this list just because I've talked about him way too fucking much this week, and I'm getting sick of talking about his ass.
Got you.
Number 5, I got D'Lo going to Dallas on his 2-year, $11 million deal. Now, I just think that contract is so fucking cheap for D'Angelo Russell, and he's a rental. He's going to be a starter for 6-7 months, like 50 games until Kyrie gets back. So to have a backup point guard as good as D'Angelo Russell that you're not really paying much and you got him for a $5.5 million deal, I think that's a great contract, honestly.
Oh, okay. For a second, I was tripping because I was like reading the title again, and I was like, "Did he just say worst?" But I forgot you told me I'm doing the worst, and I was like, "Was that bad?" I thought that was perfect. Yeah, I love that signing. Like I was tripping for a second. I was like, "What the hell?"
I
And
seen
then
your
when you were
face, and
saying,
I thought you had him on your worst list by your
"Oh
reaction.
no," I was just like, "Wait, did he say word?" My bad. Anyways, sorry, y'all. I love that signing. I love it. Like D'Lo, he's a very talented point guard. I know with the Lakers it was up and down, but it's only because like we had him and Austin, and both of them aren't like good defensively, so it can't really work out that way. We traded them for a defensive player, but for what Dallas is trying to do, and I was preaching it before, their identity now is defense. Like their whole thing is defense, and to add a point guard like D'Lo after losing Kyrie Irving, for I don't even know how long Kyrie Irving is out, but I know it's for a long time. So if you have him on a contract like that, and then when Kyrie comes back, you have him coming off the bench for Kyrie, that is insane, bro. Like that is really good. So I'm trying to think of the lineup with Kyrie Irving. It would be Kyrie, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, or Cooper Flag, whichever you guys want to do,
Here
Anthony
we go
Davis, and then Derek Lively. Yeah, my bad. I'm just
again.
saying it just in case. But right now, that's going to be D'Lo in Kyrie's place, and that roster is going to be flying. And they still have guys like Max Christie and I believe Najee Marshall on the bench with Daniel Gafford, and like they just have weapons. So to have D'Lo, a guy who doesn't even really need to be that star player on this roster, this still provides for Cooper Flag to do his thing. This still lets Anthony Davis do his thing. And this still lets Klay Thompson get some shots up too. Maybe even get more looks with D'Lo out there. But I'm a fan of this signing, man. I love it. I'm just wondering,
Yeah, this
like,
team.
what's your next four? Because I would low key put this top three.
Yeah, I mean,
My bad.
this one is good,
You
bro.
still there?
There's just a lot of cheaper deals, budget deals. I think
Mhm.
this D'Angelo Russell move keeps the Mavericks where they are. I think the next
Mhm.
four moves put their teams over the top. Like okay, my number four, right? I got Tim Hardaway
Mhm.
Jr.'s 1 year, $3.6 million deal. Cheap ass deal for a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr., right? And I know D'Angelo Russell's probably a better player than Tim Hardaway Jr. But I just think the
Mhm.
Nuggets adding these pieces with him, Bruce Brown, like their offseason is one of the best off seasons we've seen in a while. But I think what Tim Hardaway
Oh yeah.
Jr. provides is being able to move off the ball, which they lost when they lost Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson.
Mhm.
So I think that's the benefit of that. Like I think Tim Hardaway Jr. gives you the shooting and the off-ball movement that they lost in Michael Porter Jr.
Oh yeah. And then also he could play a little defense too. It's not crazy, but he can. So if you have that guy like that coming off the bench, which is kind of what they were missing with their whole team. Like, yeah, they had Peyton Watson, but I mean, he's a defensive type person. Like he's gotten better offensively, but I'm not going to trust him to run my offense sometimes or even like get me a point sometimes. I'm going to trust him to lock up like another team's best forward or something like that. So adding Tim Hardaway Jr. and I believe Bruce Brown would be coming off their bench too.
Yeah.
That's really good for Denver. And shooting, I mean, add as much shooting as you can around Jokic, bro. Add
Yeah.
as much as possible. Triple double king right there.
Shooting. And I just think, bro, like the movement is something that's so underrated with Michael Porter Jr.'s game. And I think Tim Hardaway Jr. is like on that level as him. You know, he might not be as good of a shooter as Michael Porter Jr., but it's
Mhm.
gonna be nice, bro. He's gonna hoop next year, I think, in Denver. He's gonna be a consistent role player for this team, which is something they missed, bro. I mean, last
Oh,
season,
1000%.
we couldn't believe they were going to end up starting Christian Braun. And Christian Braun had a lot better of a year than I thought he would. But
Mhm.
the other guys, man, like Strawther didn't take a step up. Peyton Watson was cool, but he didn't like elevate himself. Trey Alexander like didn't elevate himself. There were so many guys on this
Mhm.
team where we were like, if one of them hits, then they go out there and ball out, and none of them hit. You know, so they made that KCP loss look worse, even though KCP was kind of trash last year. But they could have used KCP because none of their guys stepped the fuck up. And to win a
They
championship, you need
really
everyone to step up. And it was just Christian and
exactly.
Braun. At number 3, now I feel like this is my favorite free offseason signing just because one of my teams gets better. One of the teams I'm rooting for gets better. But Nickeil Alexander-Walker signing a 4-year, $62 million deal
Oh,
with the Atlanta Hawks. Now, he got paid a lot, and I would say it's probably an overpay. But you need to see guys like this around Trae Young. And I'm so happy the Hawks are buying all in. I feel like a lot of people are hating, and a lot of people think that this team is going to be the same Hawks team we've seen every year. And just trust me, that's not going to be the case this year. This team could be the number 1 seed in the East, and a lot of that is because of their Nickeil Alexander-Walker signing, Kristaps Porzingis. They just needed more guys around Trae Young like this, and they landed him. So I love this signing as well.
bro, I am so impressed with how this stinking Atlanta Hawks roster looks, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna say because I know you think Zachary Ricochet is gonna start.
I don't know, but he can.
Yeah, because what I'm
I think
looking at
so.
here, I mean, obviously it's going to be Trae Young, and I'm guessing Dyson Daniels at the 2, even though 2K wise, you said let's go with Nickeil Alexander Walker
For 2K,
at
yeah.
the 2 to start it off. But point guard Trae Young, shooting guard Dyson Daniels, small forward Zachary Ricochet, power forward Jalen Johnson, and then center. People saying Big O, but I think it's going to be Kristaps Porzingis. I think it is, unless he's still hurt.
The lineup on ESPN right now is Trae Young, Dyson, Jalen Johnson, Porzingis, Onyeka. But I just think, bro, I don't love that because I don't love Onyeka, bro. Shout out Chino Hills. That's my native land. My land is Chino Hills. But I just don't think he's developed much. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on outside of basketball for Onyeka last season. But I don't know how great he fits with this team, honestly. I think he's a cool backup point guard, but I would rather have Zach starting so you could have some 3-point shooting. Or even I would start Nickeil at the 3 over Onyeka, honestly, because I just need shooters out there. I would rather have shooters out there.
3?
Yeah, I mean, and you could have Dyson guard the 3s and then Nickeil just kind of play a shooting guard role, But I don't love Onyeka, man. I just don't think he's developed at all, which makes me sad as a guy rooting for him. But if I'm the Hawks, you got to do what's best for business, And obviously, this would have been the year where they could have went and said, like, all right, Onyeka, we're gonna give you the keys to be our center. And they didn't do that. They went out and got Porzingis, and they drafted another big and also Noel. So obviously Atlanta doesn't really love Onyeka Okongwu either. That's my thoughts on it. I don't think he should be starting.
I actually do like the Kristaps Porzingis Big O front court. I think that would do some damage if I'm being for real. Like Big O, I know that he's been up and down, and I know that he's also an undersized big, like compared to all the other ones. But if you put Kristaps Porzingis out there at the 4 and then have Big O just be able to be like, he's a big body, so just have him lock up the interior and then have Porzingis play help. I think that would do wonders for them.
But he can't lock up the interior, bro. He's not a good defender.
Yeah, but if you have Kristaps Porzingis floating,
that's true.
I think that makes him a good defender. I think because there were so many times they play him with Clint Capella or even just have him play with the 4 Jalen Johnson. And I was feeling like maybe they're just a little bit too small sometimes. Like I feel like they'd be even better if John Collins was still there and Big O was starting. But when he got to the Atlanta Hawks, it was just an awkward time. Like it's just been an awkward time.
They also missed Jalen Johnson, who's a big body last season. And I think they added Porzingis, I'm not saying never play Porzingis and Onyeka together, but I think either their starting lineup or their death lineup needs to not have Onyeka on the floor.
Okay. I mean, yeah, probably. Because, I mean, Porzingis and Jalen Johnson were the front court I was looking at. But I do want to see how a Porzingis and Big O front court would look.
Would you rather have Onyeka out there, or would you rather run 5 out with Trae Young? I think I'd rather run 5 out with Trae Young because that's just damn near unstoppable.
That's a good question. Because obviously,
that's how I envision it.
Yeah, well, I mean, because in the 5 out offense with Trey Young, like you have unlimited, like there's back doors that are going to be dangerous. There's 3-point shooting that's going to be dangerous. But I feel like if you have a lob threat, like you go 4 out, 1 in, I still feel like he's dangerous with that. Because I mean, you said it yourself in that one podcast episode when we were talking about Tyrese. Like Trey Young does a good job of getting inside, and he has a. To me, who do you think has a better floater, Stephen Curry or Trey Young?
Trey Young, bro.
That
Steph,
so that
Steph's is prettier, but I think Trey Young's is like statistically the best floater ever, if I'm being
yeah.
honest.
So speaking on that, like no matter what, if he goes in, teams are going to be fearing him throwing a floater up and making it. And also, if you have that 4 out, 1 in, imagine if Big O's there and you're trying to figure out is he going to do a floater or is he going to lob it to Big O? No matter what, he has unlimited options with somebody in the dunker spot. And if you can have it where it's like, oh, I'm going to go for a floater. Oh, I'm going to go for the lobber. Oh, I'm going to kick it out to Kristaps Porzingis or Jalen Johnson in the corner or Zachary Sachet. I feel like that's why having Big O out there would work.
But you don't think
But
you
no
could do
matter
that with
what,
Jalen Johnson? Like Jalen Johnson could be a lob threat too. Jalen Johnson punches
yeah.
it, you know? And Jalen Johnson, I think it'd be interesting too, because then you could run 5 out with Jalen Johnson with the ball and have Trey Young on the perimeter too. Like you can't really do that with Onyeka in the game. I think it makes your offense more versatile if Onyeka's off the court. And Onyeka, no knock. Again, he could contribute in certain spurts of the game, but there's just moments where I'm like, what's he out there doing, you know? And I don't think you have that when your lineup's Trey, Dyson, Zach, Jalen Johnson, and Porzingis. All those guys are contributors, and they're going to contribute at all times. And I just think Onyeka's had the opportunities multiple times to prove himself as an NBA starter, and respectfully hasn't been able to do that. I mean, Clint Capella's been starting over him. I think Onyeka started like the second half of the year, but Clint Capella started over his ass way too fucking long. You know, and that's not a Hawks organization thing. That's an Onyeka thing. So that's always been my kind of knock on him. Should I go into number 2?
You know what? Let's do it.
At number 2, this shows the movement in the right direction for this franchise. At number 2, I got the New York Knicks signing Jordan Clarkson to a 1-year, $2.6 million deal. Now, Jordan Clarkson isn't the same Jordan Clarkson that he's been. No 6 man of the year Jordan Clarkson vibes. We're not getting that Jordan Clarkson, right? But with Jordan Clarkson, we're getting the Knicks saying like, hey, we're going to use our bench now. And that's just huge, you know, and he's a cheap contract. They also land Yabusele. So they have 9 guys now that they could play on their team, which is huge. I'm excited to see the Knicks and Mike Brown actually using their bench, you know, and I think Brunson needs that. I don't think they have to move Josh Hart anymore. Like they could sub things out and move things with the roster they have rather than making a big splash or big trade.
Bro, I'm just getting like, I mean, obviously with the Utah Jazz, Jordan Clarkson was like that guy that came in. He was the Lou Williams for that team when they were like in first place or when they were in an actual contending team. So when you bring him to New York, you're telling me he gets to come here and keep that role, but with the New York Knicks, a way better roster, starting 5, a way better like team that is going to be contending next year easily. Like it's probably going to be 1 or the 2 next year. That was an amazing signing by this stinking New York Knicks, and adding that with it, getting Gershon Yabusele, I love it. But having Jordan, like I like Miles McBride, I love him, but having him be the guy to like control everything on guard duties, like having to play make, having to move the ball, having to shoot, having to score, like having that be your only option out there when Jalen Brunson goes out was kind of like, oh boy,
It's
this is
ugly,
looking
bro.
messy. So if you have, like, you're telling me now, I have Miles McBride and Jordan Clarkson coming off my bench with Gershon Yabusele, and you're telling me,
Mitchell Robinson.
And Mitchell Robinson. Sorry about that. I keep forgetting they have Cat on the team. That's how good this team is, bro. So adding Jordan Clarkson helps Miles McBride, helps Gershon Yabusele, helps Mitchell Robinson, helps Jalen Brunson, especially where now you don't even need him to come back in when you need scoring. You have a scorer who can come in and get you buckets no matter what, because that's what Jordan Clarkson does. With Miles McBride, I'm questioning how he's gonna do when he comes in with Jordan Clarkson, but I think he's gonna be fine because I mean he can score. Like in my eyes, he can score, but like I think now he has more room to just either be a two-way type player, be a playmaker, be like he can choose his role a little bit better. With Jordan Clarkson, he's just gonna go in and get you a bucket. He's gonna probably get you on a 10-0 run, a 15-0 run if you need him to. Like, I love this signing. I love this signing for him.
I think they need to sign like maybe one or two guys just like as like injury reserves, because after those 9 we named, it's like Pacome Daddier, who could make a step next year. Let's hope. Tyler Kolek, who hopefully can make a jump next year, and Ariel Huckporty, who I know a lot of Knicks fans like, but I just think they could sign like somebody. I think this is a team. They're $3 million away from the or $4 million away from the second apron. They could afford to go into the second apron because they are probably the best team in the East next season.
Yeah.
I would spend a little bit and try to land one more guy, honestly. But yeah, I mean, this team is stacked. And again, like you said, I think Miles McBride should be playing more of a Caruso role rather than being like your backup point guard who does everything. And I think it'll make Deuce a lot better next season for sure, because I feel like there was points where Deuce kind of looked nasty this year. As a Deuce guy, Deuce McBride is one of my favorite players in the league. I just love that type of player. But
he's good, man.
He just looked kind of bad at points last season because his load was so like, you're coming in for Brunson, and it's like, when Hale and OG aren't knocking down shots, then you got to be the guy. And that's just not the type of player Deuce is, but that is the type of player Jordan Clarkson is. So that's going to be entertaining to watch.
I kind of want them to bring up or actually play a little bit more Kevin McCullough Jr. I want them to use him. Anymore. Is he?
Oh, he's
him right here.
He's probably on a two-way because I think he's on the Summer League roster. I feel like I saw that. That'd be cool. He went to Houston, right?
No, he went to Kansas, I believe. He went to Kansas.
I want to look at their Summer League.
Yeah, he went to Kansas.
Okay. Knicks Summer League. Because I was looking this up because they didn't post their Summer League roster until yesterday, I guess.
Bro, I've been actually low-key like watching the Summer League lately.
They got Beauchamp too on their Summer League. I haven't been watching it, if I'm being honest. I need to lock in on it though, but
it hasn't started yet.
Oh, Dig Pate. I remember people talking about him too. They got a weird ass team. Did you see? Baisley's on the Lakers Summer League team, right?
Yeah, I was shook when I saw that. I turned on the game and I saw him at the forward spot, and I was like, okay, see Baisley? And then right when he was moving and the camera zoomed in on his face, I was like, I love Darius Baisley. I love Fresh Prince. What's going on there?
I'm happy he's still hooping. I thought he wasn't hooping.
Him and Connect won us the game last night. Brody had like 24 points with 13 rebounds. I was like, what the hell?
He hooped. Shout out Bays, man. Would love to have you on the pod. Would love to have you.
1,000%, man.
That's what. How old do you think he is?
I'm guessing like 26, 27.
Bro, he's 25 still.
He's 25.
He's still young.
Baisley?
Yeah. And Baisley, he's a dude that I was surprised was out of the league for so long because he could contribute. Like, he could go out there and make plays, So it was good to see. I seen that this morning. I need to rewatch that game for sure.
Bro, he was good.
I'm definitely tuned in tomorrow for Cooper Flag versus Bronny, and then Dylan Harper versus Ace Bailey.
Oh, 1,000%, bro. 1,000%. Dylan Harper's finally going to play?
Yeah, because he didn't play in any of the
he didn't play in the first two.
Where were they at, though? Was it in Oakland, or did they play
the California Classic.
Okay. Yeah, I peeped that. I was kind of mad because I was excited to watch that. But,
I was pissed when I didn't see him out there. Carter Bryant needed him, bro. He needed him.
My number one free agent signing. Now, this one might be a shock, right? But this was a guy that I thought would get overpaid a little bit. And this team signed him to a very team-friendly deal. And that's Ty Jerome to the Grizzlies on a 3-year, $27 million deal. Now, listen. I know it's a surprise, right? But this was a guy
that need you to put me on.
Hey, end of the regular season, bro, we were glazing Ty Jerome, if you remember. I
Mm.
feel like the playoffs, he kind of played like shit, so it kind of like left a sour taste in our mouth. But Ty Jerome could have got 14 mil if he really wanted to, I think. And he just hoops, bro. I think the Grizzlies have been missing that real backup point guard. When Tyus Jones was there and John Morant would get hurt, they would still win because they had a backup point guard in their system.
Mm.
And Ty Jerome can get you buckets. Who else on the Grizzlies could get you buckets now that Desmond Bane's gone? Like, create for themselves. There's really not a lot of guys. There's Jaren, there's Ja, and that's kind of it. Like, Scottie
I
Pippen
mean,
Jr.
you forgetting about Gigi and Jalen Wells. Those guys can get buckets.
Gigi, bro, Gigi pissed me off last season because last season should have been the year Gigi took off, and Gigi did not take off. I was trying to trade for him in Dynasty all season last season, but if Gigi could be that, then sure. And Jalen Wells, I think it was more of a matter of where he was at. I think he's a great rookie, obviously, and I think he's going to be a great contributor. I like Jalen Wells as that. What I was talking about Deuce McBride should be, where he could kind of fill the gaps wherever you need him. If you need someone to defend a small forward, he could go out there and do that. If you need someone to play make, he could do that. If you need someone to get a bucket, he could do that. Ty Jerome's strictly out there to give you 25 points. And if he doesn't hit his 25, it's cool. But he's out there to, like, your goal is go out there and just give us buckets. And the Grizzlies don't have guys that could create that. And I think he's going to be a lead backup point guard. And we're forgetting Ty Jerome just did that on a competitive team. Now you go to Memphis, where he's probably going to get more shots, and he's going to be more. Yeah. Bro, Ty Jerome is going to have a great year next year. I think, and 3 years, 27 is just so fucking cheap for Ty Jerome too.
It was 3 years, 27.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Wait. So, okay. He's going to be making 8 million this year, 9 million next year, and then 9 million the year after that. So, I mean, it's pretty cheap. Yeah.
Is Nikhil $6 million annually better than Ty Jerome? There's just no way.
Well, you said Nikhil's getting $6 million?
$6 million more. Nikhil gets $15 million a year.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant he was getting paid $6 million. I was like, Atlanta just
sniped
cheated.
him.
What the hell?
Nikhil's getting 15. Ty Jerome's getting 9. I think Ty Jerome's a better basketball player. Don't let the playoffs fool you, bro. Because he was bad in the playoffs. But Ty Jerome was so fucking nice last year, bro.
I mean, he was, like, for Cleveland, but I mean, Nickeil Alexander-Walker has been good, like, consistently in the NBA. Like, even when he went on that weird, like, rookie year when he was traded back and forth, then he was with the Pelicans finally. He was scoring no matter what for the Pelicans, and then he went to another team. I forgot where, but he eventually ended up on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and he was balling for them and turned into a two-way player. Like, he was shooting crazy threes and getting buckets inside. And then on the other side, he was bothering, like, some of the best point guards in the league. Some of them, not all of them. He was still obviously probably getting cooked, but he turned into a two-way player. So, I mean, with Ty Jerome, the only reason why I'm differing them is because I remember Ty Jerome on the Golden State Warriors and I paid him no attention. But Cleveland Ty Jerome, that's probably going to be best season. So hopefully with Memphis, he can turn into something more. Hopefully.
Even if he doesn't, if he does what he did next season, I think that's a great deal. But I do agree with you where Nikhil has been doing it longer, right? But I just think what Ty Jerome did last regular season seems like it could be consistent for me. And I think it's something that Grizzlies desperately need as well.
What did he say to Paolo Banchero again? I'd start on your team.
He got him I'd start on your team.
So much respect for him for that, bro. Now, low-key, because, like, that's some elite trash talk. I'd start on your team. I'm like, damn, that's a way to tell him you suck.
What's up, Dad? How you doing? Dad's on the Instagram chat. Look, I think what was I gonna say? I was blanked out. Yeah, that's it, elite, because he's shitting on the, like, Paolo can't say nothing now, because then he's shitting on his own point guards. So
imagine he's like, What'd you say about my dude Cole Anthony? What'd you say?
Well, hey, just got traded. I know what you guys need desperately. Let us have it. Hey, real quick, do you want to talk about this Jalen Williams Paolo stuff that's been going on Twitter? Have you been seeing that?
Oh man, I've been feeling so bad because I'm like, bro, these are like I love both of these plays. Like I don't know why like we gotta compare because it started after Paolo Banchero got that extension, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, so what are you thinking? Because this is your guy, Jalen Williams. Like who do you think? Who do you think is better?
All right, this is my comp. Real quick, my pop said you guys need someone that can spit knowledge like me. You don't know ball. You don't know ball. Stick to
Yeah,
business.
all right.
Stick to business. This is what I think, okay? If I needed to win a game tomorrow
Mm,
and I get to pick one player, I'm picking Paolo Banchero. But if
mm,
I have a stacked team already, I'm picking Jalen Williams. It's
mm,
it's give and take, you know? Jalen Williams to me is a better defender. I think Jalen Williams is a better playmaker. I think Jalen Williams plays his like role better. But
mm,
Paulo Banchero could backpack a team. I mean, we saw
mm.
Jalen Williams had that 40 game in the finals, but other than that, like I don't know if he could backpack a team like that, you know? Um I definitely could see the Jalen Williams argument, right? Because
Mhm.
a lot of the things Paulo does don't lead to wins, you know? That offense is still very stagnant and very slow. Bro, Paulo has to have like 35 for them to win a game, you know? And I'm not saying it's all on Paulo, right? But I think if Paulo, it's like, I don't know I just don't think we have a lot of players like him in the NBA anymore where
Mhm.
you give him the ball, clear out, and like he has to make a tough shot. Paulo doesn't take good shots, you know? So that's where it's tough for me. Obviously, Paulo's a more skilled basketball player, but I
Mhm.
think I would rather have Jalen Williams in most circumstances.
Yeah, I'm
They know
not
that.
against it. I'm not against it. I really love Paolo Banchero. Like he's
Blue
such
Devil,
a
that's why.
good. Well, it's not even just that because he's a Blue Devil. That's crazy that he's also a Blue Devil. It's something about the Cooper Flags, the Paolo Bancheros, the Kyrie Irvings, the like. I could go on. It's
Come
something
on,
about the
Maluach.
Blue Devils, man. Come on, Maluach. But like with Paolo Banchero, he's just this big, like 250-pound forward who can play the small forward or power forward that like is just really good. And I mean, the shots he takes I want to agree with you that they are bad. Like that's one thing I was gonna like talk to you about right here. But I think they're pretty good shots for him. Like he's
He
made
makes
a
them.
lot of his shots. Yeah, and his efficiency is pretty good too. But he's always improving. Like that's one thing that I love. Like Jalen Williams is improving too. Like without a doubt, he's a stinking NBA champion. But Paolo Banchero, he came straight into the league and he was averaging 26 and 3 with a steal a game as a rookie. And then obviously he won rookie of the year. But then the next year after
That
that,
is insane
bro,
numbers for a rookie.
that's insane, bro. And then the next year after that, he averaged 22, 7, and 5 assists. And he was an all-star for the first time that year in his second year. His third year kind of got screwed up because he got injured. Very sad. Abdominal injury. But before the season ended, he was averaging 25, 7, and 5 still. Like, I think that from this point on, he can still just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, he's giving me Jason Tatum vibes a little bit because Jason Tatum's improved every single year as well.
I agree he's going to improve, and I think he'll
Mhm.
improve every year. But I think Tatum could fit more, you know?
Mhm.
Like I could tell Tatum go stand in the corner. I can't really do that for Paolo. I would
Mhm.
rather pay Paolo a super max deal because I think Paolo could be my best player on a good team.
Mhm.
But you have to build a perfect team around Paolo. I look at it the way I look at like Trae Young and Luka, right? You can't just
Mhm.
like throw them in any team. But if you build the perfect team around them, then they're contenders. You feel me?
Got you.
Like Jalen
Mhm.
Williams, you could throw on all 30 NBA teams, and Jalen Williams is going to start, and Jalen Williams is going to contribute to wins.
Mhm.
Paulo, same thing, but it's like he's also going to have games where he hurts you bad because there's those games where Paulo just goes quiet, and it's like he only takes tough shots, bro. I want to see him on a better team, and I think Jalen Williams has that benefit, but like I'm also like we have to talk about what's going on in basketball right now, you know, and
Oh yeah,
that's
but
what it is, you know.
if we're also forgetting that the Orlando Magic was like the last 2 years, they've been getting up there in like top 3 or top 2 defensively. And then also they were the second or third best team in the East at the start of the year in those first 4 weeks of the season. Like, and they were legit. Like at first they were low, but then when Franz Wagner got that game winner over my stinking Lakers, they went on an immense, crazy run. Like they won 11 or 12 straight games, I believe. And then that momentum cut off right when the injuries came in. But people were saying, I was one of them dudes. I was like, yo, they could low-key contend for a championship. The only thing they were missing was three-point shooting. And now they got Desmond Bane.
I think it's a little tough, bro, because the Thunder are a similar mold to that team, right? Where the offense is shaky, but the defense is elite, right? And we just won a championship. So you could definitely talk yourself into the Magic next season. But the Thunder have a guy that could give you 30, 33, 35 a night. And I don't know if Paolo's that yet. Hopefully he could be there, but I don't know if he's there yet, you know? And I think that's the problem. Paolo's, like I'm talking about right now today. I'm not talking about ceiling. Ceiling-wise, Paolo could be that guy. Paolo is that guy. But as far as like Jalen Williams just kind of I look at it like in 2016, I feel like we had these conversations with like Klay and Jimmy Butler, right? Where it's like Klay Thompson fits his role. He's one of the best defenders in the league. But Jimmy Butler will give you buckets and could carry a team. It's kind of just what you want, you know? And that's why I'm not mad at people defending J-Dub, but I still think Paolo is a more talented player, and I'm going to keep saying that. But I would rather have Jalen Williams in most circumstances.
Got you. Okay.
Fair to say.
I'm probably going to go with Paolo. It's fair to say. I'm just, with me, I love forwards, and he's 6'10", 250, and he does all this, so I got to go with Paolo.
He'd be sick. Hey, but Jalen Williams is a forward too, so don't disrespect our forward love.
Hey, yeah. He can play. Could he play point guard? Because I know he could play shooting guard too.
He could play 1 through 5. Look, he's a good playmaker. He played the 5 for us last year, and we were undefeated when he was center. When Chet went down, like that's the stuff I'm saying. Like he could fit anywhere, and those are the guys that I like. If I'm already have a core, I would rather have that than just taking another score. Last question, and then we'll wrap this up. Who's a better player than Paolo under 23 years old? Some options.
Under 23.
I think Anthony Edwards is definitely the guy for that category. Under 23.
I'm about to search that up.
LaMelo is on this list. Is LaMelo?
LaMelo better than Paolo?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna choose LaMelo over Paolo.
I wouldn't choose LaMelo. Chet,
I love him though.
Scotty Barnes is on this list. What about Şengün? Şengün or Paolo? I'm
gonna go Paolo. I love Şengün, but Paolo is so good, bro. And like watching Şengün in the playoffs, like I'm not gonna say he sucked. I'm just gonna say like there were times he got handicapped, especially by Draymond Green. I know Draymond Green, he's this all-time great defender in people's eyes, but like that knocked him a little bit in my opinion. So I got to go Paolo for that reason.
What about Wemby?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh wow, that's a good one. I will honestly say Wemby. I'm gonna go with Wembanyama on that one.
I think I would take Paolo today. Bro, okay, the best player under 23 in the NBA right now today is Cade Cunningham. And I don't want to hear shit else. It's
1,000%.
It's Cade.
It's Cade Cunningham, bro.
That's what I got into argue with my pops about because he's taking Wemby. And I think he's in the card world, right? So Wemby's like 3 times the value of Cade Cunningham, whatever. But I'm taking Cade over a lot of fucking guys, bro.
I'm taking Cade Cunningham, man.
I love it. End the episode with Cade Cunningham Glaze. Thank you guys again for listening. Join the Discord. We might be running a college football dynasty soon in the Discord. Like, subscribe, follow. Shout out our sponsors. Just Fit. Scan the code on your screen if you want to get active. Boom Fantasy. Scan the code on the screen if you want to make money. Philly Phil. Wrap it up, brother.
Yes, sir. Make sure to follow Run the Play Network on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. Make sure to hit that bell as well. We also got Discord trivia going on right now. Yeah. See if y'all can beat me or Ant-Man right over here. But anyways, I'm your man Phil. This Ant-Man shit at the MCU. We out. Let's bounce.
Bounce, baby. Boom.